Hey, this is Vickie from coming to you from Upper Room Ministries, giving you a daily dose of spiritual oxygen. What does it look like to show up and do what love requires? And what does that knock look like? And how do you know you're being called? Well, here I am in Washington, D.C. and riding a tram. And as I'm riding the tram to my next location, I notice a man just shaking, holding his little boarding ticket, wide-eyed. And you could tell he was from another country and was a bit disoriented, not knowing exactly where he needed to get off. And he was showing his ticket to everybody, going, "Where do I go? Where do I go?" And I said, "We're getting off at the same place. Follow me." Well, he understood a little bit of what I was saying, and thank God for Google Translate. And I pray it was translating correctly, because I needed to translate into Aramaic, not Aramaic, sorry, Arabic. And so I was like, "Look, we're doing it together. Don't be fearful." Kept translating back and forth and back and forth. And he said, I thank God. You see, isn't that cool? I thank God that you have come to help me. I will never forget this ever in my life. For me, it was just a little thing to show up. But for him, he said, I won't forget it forever in my life that someone's been so kind to me. And he said, this is such a big airport. His ticket was wet from sweating. So I walked into his gate, which happened to be just 3 gates away from mine. And he said, I said, I wanted to buy you a cup of coffee, because, no, my pocket is your pocket. And I didn't quite get what that meant, except I figured out he wanted to get me a cup of coffee. And so one thing led to another. And then he was so happy he wanted to take a picture together and send it to his daughter, who's going to go visit. And so she was able to say, thank you so much for helping me. And it was just a glorious and beautiful thing to do what love requires. In the midst of, I was going to the funeral of my friend who was killed. And but this is like the highlight of my trip, to know that the mission continues, to continue to carry on doing what love requires, moving at the pace of peace, knowing who I am and whose I am. And I invite you to do the same. What does that knock look like for you today? This man and I have just made a quick connection. He says, I married a woman in, I think it was Ethiopia, and she was Roman Catholic. I go, and I looked at this. And he's like, yes. And there is one God. Oh, it was kind of cool, because how did you know you're going to have a God conversation in the midst of a wide-eyed man with a sweaty ticket in his hand, with a scribbly C24 for his gate, where I could just put a hand out? What does that handout look like for you today? He blessed me more than I blessed him, I think, because he gave me that energy, that zeal to continue the mission, continue to shine. I invite you to shine today. God bless you. Until the next daily dose, move at the pace of peace.